Hi, folks. Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. I wanted to come back with you one more time today. I wanted to take another look at the secret book of John. And this really is some great stuff. This really is some amazing stuff. We had a good video today about Bill Cooper, Hero Fiend, or somewhere in between, and a very excellent video about UFO religions, the out of this world UFO religions, and some insightful commentary and questioning about each one of us who are want to believe, W-O-N-T, likely to believe in extraterrestrials, in UFOs, and the connection of ancient or future human civilization with these UFOs. So very interesting UFOs and UFO religions. And tomorrow we'll actually start getting into some of these specific UFO religions. Very, very interesting stuff. Tonight we want to look at the primary structures of the divine mind. And wow, I mean, what deeper of a study could you undertake than to try to understand the mind of the divine? The mind of the inexpressible one. So she, Barbella, which is, of course, as we've learned in the last few talks about this, she is the Sophia wisdom. So she, wisdom, asked for incorruptibility, and the Spirit agreed. And incorruptibility came forth and stood by thought and foreknowledge. So for us, a very nice takeaway from this is that as long as you are acting with thought, as long as you're being mindful, as long as you're using the wisdom and the knowledge that you've gained, that is the way to lead yourself into incorruptibility. Conversely, corrupt things come by not thinking, by going off half-cocked. Corruptible things come by going against what you know. I knew I shouldn't have done it, but but we get to the place where we know we shouldn't have done it, and we don't. I mean, just little things, but there's, people will send me, ignorant comments, and I'll get ready to fire off a response, and I'm like, nah, not worth it. So I go with my foreknowledge, and I go with my thought, and those are each little baby steps towards incorruptibility. And you'll see as we progress through this little talk why these little baby steps are so important. I think it's an old Eastern saying that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and that is certainly true. So incorruptibility is built upon individual, each and every time decision making, where you follow your foreknowledge, follow your blink, and think about what you're doing, or choose the appropriate action. And then incorruptibility gave glory to the invisible Spirit and to wisdom, because it is the wisdom of the Spirit, the thought of the Spirit, the foreknowledge of the Spirit that allows you to act in those ways that are consistent to bring you to a place of incorruptibility. And wisdom was happy because she knew that we were employing her ways to get our place to one step closer to incorruptibility. And then she asked for everlasting life, and the Spirit agreed. And everlasting life came forth, and they all stood together and gave glory to the invisible Spirit. And think about that. A lot of people say, well, why didn't the Elohim allow Adam and Eve, so to speak, allow man to eat from the tree of life and live forever? In fact, the serpent said, they don't want you to eat from that tree because they know you'll live forever. But the reality of it was that the Elohim probably told them not to eat from that tree of life after they had already sold themselves into the mud hut bodies, the false, fake bodies that the Lord had created, that the serpent had tempted them into. And could you imagine if we had eaten of the tree of good and life at that time? Could you imagine eating of the tree of life when you are corruptible, and to be locked into an eternity of corruptibility? But once you get to the place where you can use your thought, and you can use your foreknowledge, and you use it correctly and have come to a place that is approaching corruptibility, then once you get to incorruptibility, then the way to everlasting life is open to you. Not because the divine or the inexpressible ones are trying to keep it from you, and that was the lie that the reptilian majestic serpent sold to man. They're just trying to keep it from you, but what they're trying to keep you from is an eternal life in corruption and incorruptibility. Only as we learn by thought, and only as we learn to honor our foreknowledge and our blink, only as we do this repeatedly and take the steps necessary to where incorruptibility becomes a habit and incorruptibility becomes a reality within our spirits and within our lives, then we can go and have everlasting life. And then they all have joy because they know that it was by this entire divine plan that things were worked out. And again, wisdom is happy because the plan is working. And then she asks for truth. The Spirit agrees. Isn't that interesting? They're living everlasting, and they're living everlasting in what? We're living everlasting in what? In spirit and in truth. And when we are living incorruptible, everlasting in spirit and truth, then we can come and stand together. Then we can give glory to invisible spirit. And then we can thank wisdom for leading us down this path, even though it seemed rugged, even though it seemed difficult, even though it seemed steep, even though it seemed kind of silly at times. Well, that's what allows us to become a first man, or a one man, or a completed man, who is the image of the invisible spirit, who is providence or protection, who has wisdom. And by incorporating his thought and her thought, by incorporating her blink or his blink, they've learned to do it consistently and have approached a life of incorruptibility, have been able to eat of the tree of life and have life everlasting in a state of incorruptibility, which is the ultimate truth. Isn't it great? I love it when a plan comes together. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Fivefold realm, a realm of 10, 5 of the Father, 5 of the Mother, make an androgynous or balanced whole. And those are just the primary structures of the divine mind. At our next little broadcast, our next little talk, we'll look at the secondary structures of the divine mind. And wait, there's even tertiary structures of the divine mind. And then we get to go into something else. But isn't that good? Isn't that powerful? Isn't that interesting? The primary structures of the divine mind, and really, the primary structures of your divine mind. Like, share, subscribe, use the little blurb I put down there in the box, post it on your social networks. Let's grow this channel. Let's get this message out. Let's win this contest. Let's win this battle. Let's win this war. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, helping you unwind your mind and unindoctrinate yourself.